Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Inspire and Inquire. You know I'm not a pastor, right? Or a theologist. Just a girl who's inquiring about God and hoping to inspire others as I share my spiritual journey. Now this week, I wanted to look at Joshua 1:9. Let's take a look. Now the verse says, "Have I not commanded you, be courageous and strong. Do not suffer shock or be terrified, for Jehovah your God is with you wherever you go." So let's look at it line for line. The first line says, "Have I not commanded you?" Commanded you to be courageous and strong. Command. That's such a strong word, right? The other time we hear words like commandment is when we're looking at the 10 commandments. So this is a serious thing. God is asking Joshua to be strong and courageous. But it's not just a request. It's a commandment. He also commands this. Let's look at the second line. It says, "Do not suffer shock or be terrified." So God is also commanding Joshua to not be afraid. So why can Joshua be so strong and courageous and not have fear? Well, the last line tells us why. It says, "For Jehovah your God is with you wherever you go." God is with you wherever you go. As you're watching this video, He's with you. When you turn it off, He's with you. If you're going to eat something, He's with you. And that's very important to realize and to recognize that wherever you go, whatever you're doing, God is with you. So before I go a little more in depth into what the verse is saying to me, let's take a look at what led to the verse. So Joshua was asked to take the people across the River Jordan. And he felt unprepared, and he definitely felt like he wasn't ready. So God had to give him some strict instructions to get it done. Do you ever feel like there's something nudging you deep inside, to do something to help others? Maybe help one person and you're waiting, you're procrastinating. Maybe you're afraid of the outcome. Maybe you're afraid of what people might think. All of that is fear and anxiety. And God is saying, leave the fear alone, be strong, be bold, be courageous because I'm with you. For instance, when I started this spiritual video, I was terrified. I could just imagine being ridiculed. I could just think how irrelevant it might be. I felt exposed and naked, But I can attest that there are so many people who have responded with, "Regina, the timing of that verse was so perfect for what I'm going through." Or, "Regina, thanks so much for sharing that. I didn't really see it that way." Or, "Regina, I'm going to start my spiritual journey now. This is such an inspiration." And at the time, I couldn't have imagined those things would come to fruition. But God knows, and we need to trust those things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, Joshua was asked to take the people across the river because Moses had died before. Let's look at why Moses died before. I was very curious because I thought Moses was the one who took the people across. That's the story that I knew. So I did some research and I realized that before Moses had made it across the actual river, he did take the people out, but before, the people were very thirsty and hungry. And God spoke to Moses and said, "Moses, I need you to raise your staff, let the people know that God is here, and, this rock will pour out water for all the masses." So Moses, instead of listening to what God requested of him or commanded of him, he struck the rock and said, something in respect to, "Have we not, been here for you?" But the point is that he took the credit for the water coming out of the rock. He didn't give the glory to God. He didn't let the people know God was with them. He struck the rock and took the credit for letting this water pour out to the masses. And God was very upset with that. And he told him, he said, "Listen, you're going to die before you carry these people across the river." And so said, so done. So the two things that stood out to me from reading this verse is, one, when God is requesting something of you, take it seriously, Take it like a commandment. Be strong, be courageous, be bold in knowing that He is with you wherever you go. We don't have time for fear. Fear kills faith. And God is stronger than anything else that's out there in this world. So we need to be bold and strong in knowing that He is with us. And the second thing is, give man credit where credit is due. right? A lot of us think that where we are today is because of our works and decisions we've made, when all the glory belongs to God. I do feel empowered to make more movements in faith for God. And I also humble again to remember that this is not about me. This is not for me. It's about God. It's about His works. And the credit is to Him and for Him always. That's why I love that line, all the glory to God. All the glory. I can answer any question with that. Regina, you're doing such a good, all the glory to God. Regina, your son is great, all the glory to God. Regina, you look, all the glory to God. So those are 2 takeaways I have from reading this verse. And your activity for this week would be to look at your life and see if there's any little thing, any little nudge inside of you that's telling you to do something that might feel like it's out of your comfort zone, something you feel like you're just not prepared for, something you might be afraid of, but this thing will benefit someone or benefit others. Maybe it's time to throw away the fear and fill it up with faith. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week on Inspire and Inquire.